Holy shit, dude. Okay. Loading nebulous. And it's 10% rolled. What? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. I want to have bigger inventory. There it is. 100. Oh, shit. 115 of 115. Go. She's dead. She's dead. Easy, dude. Easy. Added lightning damage. Nice, dude. That is what, like 5C? So, activate molten shell, load it up, and now, fuck, that is it. Not good. Oh, type, hit. Low roll. Ouch. Easy. To me. Let's go. What just I? Better give me some Watcher's Eye now, dude. That was fucking God mode played. Yeah? There it is, boys. I don't know, sometimes it's just scuffed. One time you don't kill it with 6 portals, the next turn you do it deathless. Just like, I don't know. So, first ever tier 17. It's no regen, but we have leech. I could lowball it and turn some of these monsters into rocks. We don't. I'm playing a Deli. Go low. Can go wrong. Ouch. What? Bro, what happened? I was lagging, dude. Yo, what? This is my first ever Hinokora's lock that I find. And it's 10 divines? Nice. Literally the first Hinokora's lock that I find. Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today, update number 2. Is Sunday evening from the time of recording, so uploading it on Monday. And yeah, what should I say more than the Atlas has been cleared? We have 115 completion. We've done all 4 void stones, and we unlocked 11 out of 12 favorite map slots. And yeah, that probably has been the smoothest league start that I had so far. Obviously, has been a bit lucky with Nameless here and the high-risk ire for 5 divines or something like that, you know. So that gave me a little bit of an extra juice early on, and I invested that into not gear, but Forbidden Flame Flash for Fortitude, just for less damage taken from hits, because I think damage is fine. It's just like tankiness could be better. And then I decided to buy Awaken Gems. Awaken Gems for the Bleed Bow character are actually pretty cheap, I gotta say. I think, what was it, like, Swift Affliction, Brutality, then we have Vicious Projectiles, you know, everything like twice. And, yeah, Deadly Ailments. All of them were like 30, 40 chaos a piece, and then I spent like 2 divines for GZPs to actually get all of them up. Another upgrade that I've done, I got my Snipe, my Puncture, and my Split Arrow on level 2120. These gems were about 15 chaos a piece. So it is like a little bit of an investment, but it is like planned for the long term. And while other people are upgrading their gear, which is actually the more useful part, you're gonna get the Awakened Gems and Forbidden Flame Flash to a fairly cheap price. It's not really cheap, it's still a couple divines, but in a week or 2 weeks from now, I guess these 42 jewels will go for like 30 divines or something, right? And I got mine for 6 divines. So that's what I mean with like early investment, since I think League Start is a marathon, not really a race for me. So, you know, but still, 2 days, Atlas clear. League Start has been really, really good. Still on 0 divines, but I got a Hinokora's Locket today, which was actually kind of funny. That's actually the first one that I've ever found. It's currently going for 10 divines. So probably tomorrow 11, 12 divines. So I'm just going to keep it here for now and yeah, go from there. Another fun fact, since I've done the Maven today, I've done Cyrus, I've done Elder, Shaper, Uber Elder, and all of them were Maven watched. And pretty much everything that I've seen, you know, Cortex, I've done pretty much everything from the non-Uber Pinnacle bosses. And I'm not even playing a single damage aura. So what I'm currently playing is Determination, Purity of Elements. The Purity of Elements is actually kind of unneeded because I think I am, yeah, almost res capped without, but I have way too much cold res, so with a little bit of like swapping stats, you know, I would be res capped, but the reason why I'm using Purity of Elements is just for ailment immunity. I just don't like characters without ailment immunity, so I'd rather have this on. So I do have like things like Pride over here, but they are not active, okay? So it's Determination, Purity of Elements, and Blood and Sand. Blood and Sand doesn't do anything for the build, but it's cheaper than Flesh and Stone in terms of mana reservation efficiency and to be able to switch stances for the Arena Challenger charges. So as I said, not a single damage aura, and was able to do all the the Atlas pretty much with a 500 DPS bow. So yeah, on a 5-link pretty much. I think I swapped the 5-link to a 6-link, so I swapped my Split Arrow and Puncture setup once I was doing bosses. But overall for mapping, I'm usually just using a 6-link Split Arrow and a 5-link Puncture, and it is fair enough. So let's do a map showcase so you guys see how the current state is. Let's take any like tier 16 map, Grave Through, I hate the boss. Is there anything where I could get a big drop? Because I'm feeling lucky right now. The Crimson Temple maybe? Crimson Temple? No, Crimson Jewel. A lot of them. Nope. What about a cemetery? Cemetery. There is a tier 11 and tier 11. Nope. Okay. What do we have? Tier 16 guys. Maybe there is a map that is kind of good. Ashwood old map. Tower map. Yo. Okay. Tower map it is. So let's quickly get a little bit of a rolls on there. Yeah. And bosses are possessed. Whatever. Experience, rare pack, no divine orb shrine, kinda unlucky. So, I'm kinda enjoying the league mechanic more than I should. And I'm not talking about the crafting aspect, I just don't craft at all on this league mechanic. But, initially when I saw the trailer of the league and stuff, I was always like, man, this is kinda weird, you know, I don't wanna pick mods for every single map. But in the end of the day, since I don't care about the negative mods, I just keep them wherever they are. I just try to get a tanky character going that doesn't bother with the most of the modifiers, basically, right? And honestly, it's just like clicking an altar if you play like Searing Exile or Eater of Worlds. It's just like you have one glance, you click once or twice, and then you're good to go. So yeah. My Atlas tree is still the same as I planned it for the map completion, and now it is basically time to use my second Atlas tree to get the first currency strategy going. I hope we're gonna get a nurse card over here. That would be nice. I still play the Nico nodes where I get additional damage and movement speed, and the shrine nodes and stuff like that. And mapping itself, you know, is just like very, very enjoyable. But obviously, not every mod is doing a lot of like big damage or anything when it comes to bleed bow, because we only scale from physical damage. So even if we have certain things like headhunter buffs that you sometimes get in the distant memories, the synthesized maps, and so on, you know, all you care is like speed and tankiness, and not really about the damage aspect. But as you see, it is a one-button build, more or less. I also swapped from cruelty support to volatility, because I feel like it's kind of better in the clearing aspect once you have your 6-link going, basically, right? And yeah, I think, as I said, this has been probably my fastest time, like 2 days, to clear the entire Atlas and get the 11 favorite maps going. But as I said, you know, I still haven't found a single Divine Orb last season, or last league. I basically found my first Divine Orb on day 7 of the league, so it was like way slower in terms of item progression. But I'm still running gear from the campaign, or at least from the first item revamp that was about 1 or 2 chaos spent per item. Thinking about my quiver is still like super budget, my helm is still like 1 chaos worth, my ring here, completely trash stats, and the 500 DPS bow on a 5-link, you know, is not crazy either. I'm not saying it's bad, but 500 DPS is not really that great anymore, right? It was like really good on like the first day. I was super happy about the bow. Also played a lot of, what is it? Yun for unveiling, and I finally got my physical damage over time multiplier craft that I got over here now. So it's a very solid bow, but the only thing that I'm really missing, and this is kind of like getting annoying, is I have no attack speed whatsoever on my gear, and now we get to the part where channeling up snipe just takes way too long, and you feel that when you're doing bosses, it's you always like, at least for me, I always want to get the perfect puncture off, like a 7 stage puncture, and then afterwards put down my totems, and just want to watch the world burn, right? But when you do harder content like bosses and stuff, you're not gonna one-shot these, right? Or not yet. And if you have like a low roll on your bleed, and then you have to recharge again, and there is like Maven Watch, and she does like degen floors and everything, you know, it starts to become really annoying. And yeah, it would be nice if we could get more attack speed on that. But for map bosses, usually it's 1 puncture and stuff is just dying. This is like now Maven Watch with Ghosted, so we just charge it up, release the arrow, and the boss is dead. He gets out of the immunity phase here. So as long as you have like some small little intermissions like here, now she goes over, now I have time to charge up, and once the guy is active, we release, and hopefully... Did I miss it? No, I didn't miss it, but... Yeah, usually, as I said, like 1 puncture is enough usually to kill off these mon. And this is basically now on a 5-link. And that's the map. As you saw, it is very, very enjoyable to play, and it's a lot of fun overall. So let's talk about the gearing aspect. As I said, today I didn't invest too much into the character. Obviously, I bought the Awakened gems, so that has been a couple divines here and there. Or overall, with the quality gems, I did swap all my gems for the vendor recipe. That means once your gem, support gem, not the active gems anymore, when your support gem hits level 20 with 0 quality, you can just vendor it with 1 gem cutter prison, and it turns level 1 with 20% quality. And that's what I've done with the majority of my stuff over here. And I have heavy OCD, so even my auras have quality. And it takes like, I don't know, 2-3 maps maybe at tops, and you get your gems back to like level 12, 13, 14, and you're not gonna feel any downsides of that anymore. So yeah, based on that, I started using my endgame setup based on gems, but I don't, as I said, reserve them. I have no War Banner running, I have no Herald of Purity, I have no Pride yet, because I just cannot sustain the mana. So how would I do that? Well, an Enlighten level 4, for example, would help. Then we need the mana reservation efficiency on our helmet with the Essence Craft mana reservation efficiency, the Charisma anoint on my amulet, for example, and then we should be able to at least get like Pride in, or at least like Herald of Purity and War Banner, and this is all like a quite a damage upgrade. So if we take a look at the current PUB over here, we run about a 6 million DPS from Puncture. I think yesterday it was, let me see, Yesterday was like 3 million, and now it's like 6 million. So we doubled the DPS just by adding Awakened Gems, and I'm not sure if this was a 5 link. Let me check here. Heal Snipe. Oh, so it was also just without quality. So we basically doubled our DPS just by playing and upgrading the gems and stuff like that. Based on the gear, nothing too much has changed, as I said. We have still the same trash quiver. I mean, it's not bad. It has like life resistance and dot multi on a heavy quiver. So there is like quivers for 1 or 2 divines with like way better stats than that, but still it's only like stat upgrades. For example, instead of like a tier 4 dot multi to tier 2 dot multi, instead of crafted life, it's like a 70 life. So it's all like minor parts when it comes to the upgrades department. Other than that, I don't know if I changed anything pretty much on the gear. I did put in some quality on my Rislatus coil, and the reason why it's 19% is if I POB'd it, since it's a 30-39 roll. If I add 1 more quality, it will jump 1 extra for less minimum damage, but the more damage will stay the same, and that's why I decided to keep it on 19%. So this is something you can do to a little bit min-max. So it's cheaper and actually better overall. And now talking about the next upgrade. So, oh, I fixed my flasks, by the way. No longer anymore my level 20 mana flask and stuff. So we have an instant life flask with corrupted blood. We have an armor flask with percent armor, an evasion flask with percent evasion, onslaught with attack speed, and quicksilver with movement speed. And gotta say, the character is turning out to be quite fast. I mean, I like fast characters overall. So I don't mind characters with like 200-300% movement speed. It is just so much more enjoyable than having something that is like super slow. Just from the overall feeling from the build, from like just from picking up stuff, just running through the map and backtracking and whatnot. Fast characters are just a lot more fun, especially when they have good clearing. And yeah, this build just doesn't disappoint in that regard either. I gotta say, I noticed the difference in like the split arrow thingy. I did try my first tier 17 and I did fail quite hard. Because like it was like I don't know, like this what is it? This heist map or whatever. And this Maven watch. So every time when I wanted to load up my snipe, she made a puddle below me. Then I moved away, wanted to load it up, and then there were the soul blades coming in, you know. And then I tried to hit the boss, then it's an apparition and stuff. So it can get very annoying as long as you don't have a puncture on the boss. You're dealing no damage, so that kind of sucks a little bit. But you know, with better gear, it's just gonna get better. More damage, more survivability, faster snipes and stuff like that. And you want to reach a point where you definitely want to have some attack speed, for example, on your weapon, that I sadly don't have on this one, but maybe on the next one. And then the channeling of puncture will be a lot faster, and it's gonna feel like a lot better if you, because at the moment I need like about 3 seconds or so to get to 7 stages, and later on you can get to like 1.5 seconds or something to get the full 7 basically stages. Another point that we could do for amulet, thinking about Defiance of Destiny. I'm thinking about an Owl's amulet with either Pride, Malevolence, or anything like that, mana reservation, or at least doesn't cost any mana. But there would also be the option for an Ashes of the Stars, because the quality for the supported active skill gems is actually quite nice. And for example, for Snipe, we get 1 additional stage. That is very, very strong. A lot of extra damage, like 110% more damage for our bleeds. Then for Puncture, it is another like up to 30% more damage with bleeding. So another quality that is very, very strong on this one. And for Split Arrow, we're just going to get another like 6 additional arrows or something. So we have better clear, better puncture single target. And overall, I think Ashes of the Star would be great. But we're then going to probably have an issue getting all the auras in. And I'm even not having Malevolence in yet either. So that would be gone from the Purity of Elements. And I think at some point I would really like to get some spell suppression bases, and then probably respec a couple of points and go up here for Mage Bane reflexes with the Mastery for extra spell suppression. Because that would open us up for the Ancestral Vision or whatever jewel is, and this would give us the elemental avoidance if we get crafted boots with like the implicit Searing Exarch, either of Waltz implicits, what I miss here completely. So that would be actually a cheap upgrade to just get some Fizz.multi on there, some reduced mana cost of attacks, then I could potentially switch my Mana Forged Arrow setup to Ensnaring Arrow and Frenzy, because at the moment I'm just running Mana Forged with Frenzy, because it's just too much mana cost. I don't have minus mana cost on any of my items. It's pretty much still Leak Starter gear when it comes to that, and I think it would just soak up my entire mana pool. But yeah, from now on, as I said, everything is clear. Now it's basically time to make our second Atlas passive tree, and then, yeah, see what we can farm. I'm currently thinking about doing, like, either Exarch, maybe the League mechanic, because I actually enjoy it more than I would like to admit if we skip away the crafting, because I just don't know how to craft properly with that yet, so I don't want to deal with it. And then probably just Guardian Conqueror maps, because it's like easy sustain, and then we can opt in for better scarabs, strong boxes, maybe Nico. I think Nico is actually great for the movement speed and the extra damage. And then we basically just grind, get upgrades, farm currency, and then see what we're gonna do next. Alright, that's it for today's upgrade. And update, more or less. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next.